Hi, Chris from United States. I imagine that the issue you're describing is one of the very common ones that we often meet when we are trying to learn a new language, when we are trying to learn a new way of interacting with ourselves and with others. And in this case, as you are describing, being excited practitioner of nonviolent communication, you would really like to have this capacity to, in the moment when the situation between you and another person is becoming more difficult, to then maintain presence and to be able to connect with your feelings and needs, because you are noticing how quickly you get flipped into this habitual way of relating, which is with blame and judgments and so forth. Yeah, and I also imagine it's kind of disheartening and frustrating because you really want to, and then in these moments you seem to not have enough capacity, and you kind of fail doing something you would really like to. So yeah, I believe I can offer some thoughts on that matter. One is the question: what can we do beforehand, before the next situations like situation like this will occur? And I believe we can do a lot. The main thing is, of course, training, practicing stuff like intensity trainings or role playing. And these practices are not only for us to become more fluent with this language and with words and learn skills, but it's actually also helping us expand our capacity to be fully present in the moment. For me, it's almost like learning to drive a car. It's a very overwhelming experience first time, second time, third time when you are driving a car, because it's so much happening at the same time, and it's overwhelming. So there is no way that you would even pay attention to the signs and on the road and so forth, because you are completely like I said, overwhelmed with just the basic mechanics of driving. But then, after you have driven maybe 100,000 miles or kilometers or 200,000 and so forth, maybe you didn't learn much new about the driving. But what happened was that your capacity started to expand. And now suddenly you're doing the same thing, same movements as before, but they are not overwhelming anymore. Even more, you have now this additional capacity that you can, while doing all these complex movements, you're able to, listen to audiobooks or have a conversation and so forth with a passenger. So that's what I would do. And in a way, the more we practice, the more we get this sense of balance. It's, again, if I give another metaphor, it's like learning to walk when we were kids. Just standing was like, if you now observe a little child, just standing is already quite a thing, let alone walking or running. It's really difficult. And then a child will tend to fall 20 times per day. And then you learn to be more attentive to this dynamic balance that we are trying to keep when walking, when running, when riding a bicycle, skiing and so forth, which is that I become more aware whether I am in the balance or whether I'm losing the balance. And immediately when I'm losing the balance, I subconsciously get it. And I do a certain micro movement that will bring me back into the balance. So basically, all the skiing, all the walking, all the riding the bicycle is all the time kind of a gravity pulling me down into losing the balance, and I am adjusting in such a precise and quick way that I'm not even aware of. So I would want to, with my practice and with training, to shorten this time between me losing the balance and me noticing I'm losing the balance. I would want to shorten it. Sometimes at the beginning what happens is that only like 4 hours later you realize, why did I say that? And I was so triggered or activated by what was happening. And then this time shortens, and then maybe you regain your self-awareness after 2 hours, maybe after 1 hour, after half an hour. And then with some practice, I can come to the situation in which, while talking, while having a conversation, I will notice that something in me shifted right now, in a microsecond. I will notice it, that my balance is going down. And then I can, if I have practiced enough, I can literally, within one inhale and exhale, I can come back to my center and then make a conscious choice. What is it that I want to do now? So that's generally speaking. And then one specific suggestion that I have, that I notice that very often we don't even, I don't know about you, but speaking generally, we don't even think about that possibility. And that's the possibility too. Within the conversation, make a request for a minute of pause. That somehow, maybe because of the cultural conditioning, schooling system, whatever, we integrated and internalized this demand that we need to provide answers immediately. We need to respond immediately. We need to be ready all the time. And I don't think that's really the case. So I would want to give myself a freedom to make a request that right now I'm not ready to respond, or right now I cannot listen anymore. Meaning that when a conversation gets overwhelming, I can always say, can I just pause for a bit? I'm just noticing I'm getting really activated right now, and it's making it really hard for me to listen in a way I would like to listen. Or I'm really hesitant to say anything right now because I'm not trusting it would come from a connecting space, and I'm afraid that I would say things that I would regret later. So I'm wondering, can we have just 1 minute of silence so that I kind of find my own self-connection, and then I'll be happy to respond. Yeah, thank you. And what I noticed is that if I make a request for a minute, or even, maybe even for half an hour to go out and come back, but very often I will have feedback then from people saying, wow, that was so great, that was so meaningful, we all needed it. Or thank you for asking for that, I was really enjoying that 1 minute, and so forth. So very often it is really also beneficial for the other person. And if not, in most cases, I guess, giving you 1 minute is not only doable for the other person, but also asking for it gives them a very important information. Information is, I care about our relationship. That's why I don't want to say things that I will regret later. Or I care about what you are trying to say right now. So I would really like to be able to listen to you. And right now I'm not, So, a few thoughts. I'm hoping that at least some of them are useful for you. Okay. Bye.